What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Dissect That Film, where we dissect your favorite films, film franchises, and TV. Today, on a new episode of Slice of TV, we are reviewing and dissecting episode 9 of the amazing Dexter New Blood. Joining me, as always, is the wonderful Angela from DNA Gaming. Always get to clap. Yep, thank you. Take your bow. Take your bow. Oh my God. It is fresh in our minds. We both literally just... Did you just watch this too? Like literally just watch this?
About an hour ago.
Okay. It's legit fresh in our minds because I probably like 15 minutes before hitting record, it was the end. And so much to talk about. And we only have one episode left of the show. I'm so sad. Today, though, we are talking about episode 9 of Dexter New Blood, titled The Family Business, and boy, is the title of this episode just perfect for everything that happens in this episode. As you know, we do spoiler-free before we go into full spoilers, so that if you want to hear our non-spoilers before, if you haven't seen the show yet, you can do that, but we go into full spoilers right after that, so make sure if you haven't seen either the entire show or just this episode yet, make sure to do that before you watch the rest of this episode. All right, Angela, let's talk non-spoilers as long as we possibly can, which is probably not going to be very long.
It's so difficult because this one was so good.
I know. Oh, man. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. This felt like an old Dexter episode.
Yep.
It felt like old Dexter, and it hit home, but it also, oh man, we just got so much in this episode, and I can't wait to see how it all ends. All right, sorry, you go. I jumped in there.
No, it like you said, that's what it felt like. An old episode of Dexter, and I don't want to say anything because I'm gonna spoil it.
Right. I don't know. Seriously, I listen to podcasts all the time where people do full episodes of just non-spoilers, and I'm just like, I don't know how you guys do it. I gotta study these other podcasts better and figure it out for myself because I don't know how to do it.
I don't know, because I just want to jump right in there.
Right. The relationships in this episode are great, especially between Harrison and Dexter. We won't go into too much more until spoilers, but their relationship is definitely the best that we've seen in the entire show. Yeah. And Kurt, this is a holy shit episode for Kurt. And then of course we're also seeing what Angela's doing. She's unraveling the mystery of, who her boyfriend is, or trying to determine whether or not her boyfriend is or is not who she thinks he is.
Yeah.
Oh man. I love how it takes place on Christmas. I really wish this was the week of Christmas, this episode.
Right?
It would have fit perfectly, but hey, whatever. We got a Christmas episode.
He's like, "Merry Christmas," and I'm like, "Wait a minute."
Right? And then we say R.I.P. to a few people in this episode. A few people, but also to a building, which is sad. Right? It's just the culmination of everything. But yeah, we get so much. It feels so much like an old Dexter episode. They play the old Dexter theme over and over again, as it's kind of, we get flashbacks to old Dexter kills, which are great. More of an old Dexter kill, and we get that really awesome theme music playing in the background. Just the way that Dexter explains himself to Harrison is just, it's great the way that they create it. It's not just two of them sitting there having that conversation and then we move on. It's kind of a blend of talking but also showing, as Harrison can't see it, but it's more, you get to see, Dexter doing, we go back in time. We get to see the old Dexter doing what he did for 8 seasons of the prior show. And boy, Deb, just that conscience trying to just get Dexter not to do anything bad and to not corrupt his son. And I love how she is confronted by Dexter, which we don't. I mean, we see him, they have their, conversations, and he has yelled at her or whatever, but what he does to her in this episode is something we haven't seen yet. And it's great. That's all I can say without not spoiling anything. Do you have anything else before we just jump into this?
No, I'm biting my tongue.
People are listening like, what the fuck are we listening to right now?
They ain't listening to much if they haven't watched the episode.
Right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we are jumping into spoilers. So if you have not seen this episode or any of the show itself, make sure to watch it all before you jump into these full spoiler sections of these episodes. All right. Spoiler alert. All right. Angela, break it down for me. Episode
Can
9.
we just say how big of balls Kurt has for showing up
the biggest of
after?
balls.
I was like, no, he can't show up. And then you hear his voice, and I'm like, holy shit, he's got some cojones.
Yeah. I kind of had it in my head that it was him. Like, I knew when that doorbell rang, I'm like, I have a feeling this is going to be Kurt. And the reason he shows up there is because Harrison and Dexter are there. He knows they're there. He and then of course he has to act all surprised, like, oh, Jimbo, what's going on? It's like, my truck is outside.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing of, like, he gets caught almost killing Harrison. Dexter, runs him off, and then he comes back where Dexter wasn't realized. Dexter didn't think that was going to happen. Oh man, what did you think of the relationship that Harrison and Dexter kind of formed in this episode?
I like where it's heading. I'm worried that what Dexter's been doing with Harrison, giving him the gun and whatnot, is just opening the door for Harrison to basically in turn do what Kurt did, seeing his father do this stuff. Like, I feel like that's gonna, because he feels the same way. I know Dexter's trying to teach Harrison the way that he was taught,
right? Not
to act on it unless it's a bad person.
Exactly.
But
yeah, I love how close they get in the episode. I love the whole Deb trying to step in the way of Dexter. Of course, she's always there to pretty much make it like, no one needs to know what you are. Yeah. Like, you're a monster. Like, she is just trying to make it so that Harrison doesn't become like Dexter. But the thing is that Dexter is seeing himself in Harrison, so he wants to help him the way Harry helped him when he was that age. And so we get Dexter, having that conversation with Harrison about the dark passenger and the code and the, how Harry protected him. He was doing some pretty effed up things at Harrison's age, and Harry saw these things, but instead of making it known to the rest of the family, or, having him institutionalized or having him arrested or whatever, he taught him a way of doing it without it, being in Harry's eyes dangerous, I guess.
Yeah. And
so Dexter's like, well, if Harry could do it for me, I can do it for Harrison, because I know that feeling. I know, what to do. I mean, I was taught this, I have it under control myself. I mean, in a way.
Yeah. For the most part.
For the most part. Yeah. And Harrison, I feel, he's soaking it all in, but yeah, like you said, it's kind of like what path is he going to take? Is he
Mhm.
going to take the Dexter path and, do it the way that Dexter has done it for years? Or is he going to kind of do it like Kurt used to do it?
Yeah.
And oh my God, the scene in the freaking bunker when they turn the lights on and you see all the women in the, it looked like
Ah,
Barbie doll cases. Oh,
yes. I
that's horrifying. It's absolutely,
I was waiting for one of them to, like, open their eyes.
it's, it
I know they're not going to
nothing.
'cause they're dead.
Yeah. Nothing is
Ugh.
what, if you have a family member pass away or you have a friend or somebody who has passed away that you go to a wake. I mean, that's what they look like. And it's
Yeah.
terrifying, to be honest, as much as
Sure.
it's because it's not them. It is them,
Yeah.
but it's not them. And it's just,
Yeah.
it's terrifying. And we see and there's so many of them. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
There's a lot more than I feel are on Angela's board of missing girls.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, the thing is this has to be since Kurt was, a young
Yeah.
man when he first killed Iris, so you got
Mhm.
to think 25 years or
Yeah,
more
25 years worth.
of killing these women who he thought he was, setting free or protecting. I guess as he said, as he's on the table. Yes, Kurt
Yeah.
meets his demise
Ugh,
in this
I
episode,
clapped
which,
like it
yes,
was the ending to the best show on earth, like, I was like, "Yes."
the main antagonist of the show, at least what we think, he gets his comeuppance in this episode, but that
Yep.
leaves one episode left, which we'll talk about in a little bit about what we think is going to be pretty much the basis of the season finale or series finale, however you want to classify it, based on if a season 2 will happen or not.
Mm.
But the thing is that we notice is that Angela calls Molly Park and she doesn't answer her phone, and I think that kind of clicked in my head, like, oh no, like she never not answers her phone.
Right?
And what do we discover as Dexter and Harrison discover all the girls in the boxes? But at the very end is Molly Park. Kurt got to her,
Yep.
and oh god, it's just gives me I hate. It's just disturbing, and I know it's fake, but it's still so disturbing.
Yeah.
Oh man,
But how many more girls do you think he's killed because he didn't keep Iris? He
no,
hid her.
all right,
When did he start keeping his girls?
yeah, that's the thing. It's like we don't know because now he's dead.
His trophies.
His trophies, which
Ugh.
those are those are some freaky trophies.
Yeah, because he had to build all these boxes to keep them in
Yeah, right.
and I know he embalms them all, but how long does a body last after
Right.
embalming?
I don't know. If anybody knows
Yeah.
that type of information, please leave a comment on this video because, yeah, that's a question. That's a question that I have no answer to. But I mean, we saw earlier in the season that he was doing these things. He was he was trying to preserve these bodies. So we knew that I feel we were expecting this. We were expecting to
Yeah.
walk into something like this, but just the way that it's presented as it's like a museum, like it's a house of wax, and you're just and of course you get the really awesome the lights that turn on as you keep walking. It's not like they all come on at the same time. It's as they
Yeah.
continue to walk down the hall, they more and more turn on. Yeah,
Like it's a
man.
showcase or
Yes.
something, like this
Oh,
is his ugh.
yeah. And
Yeah.
Kurt, even with being strapped to the table, naked, wrapped in plastic, Kurt's still trying to weasel his way out, trying to get Harrison to, see that, I did what I did because your father killed my son. And of course, Dexter being, the pro that he is, even though yes, he has slipped up and not had the excuses in those situations. He's like, no, Matt met the code, and so he had to die. He killed 5 people on that boat, and Kurt covered it up. And so Harrison, what you think is just Harrison accepts it. I think Harrison sees all these girls around him, these dead girls, and he's like, no, this guy's got to die. I think he was dead set. I really expected Harrison to be the one to kill him. I thought that was going to be the whole thing. Because especially since Dexter says that the first one's always like the hardest. You're like, oh, is he going to let Harrison do the final stab? But no, he just had him watch it. You get, Dexter comes clean. Of course, it's very slow build because, of course, Deb is trying to convince him not to tell him what he actually does. At first, he tells the story of Wiggles the clown, who was a pedophile, who Dexter stalks and kills like he has for almost 9 seasons of his show. But in his version, he just would scare the shit out of him and they would leave and never hurt anyone again because Deb was like, you can't tell him. You can't tell him.
Oh, yeah. And that Harrison is like,
yeah. Harrison figures it out himself.
Yeah. But you can see it when he's telling him he's like Batman. He's like, he's kind of like, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, that just sounds weird.
Yeah. He eventually figures it out. He pretty much says that, did you kill him? Talking about Wiggles and Dexter. And of course you get the really awesome scene of it. It pans out to Dexter and it's Deb like hugging him, like please don't do this. This is going to change everything. And of course he walks up and he says, yes, I did. Which is just great. Oh, and it kind of flips and it kind of puts it. You think you're expecting Harrison to kind of be like, okay, that's kind of fucked up. This is too far. Because and even there is a moment where Harrison says it. He says, do you think this is, what that is justice? He's talking about, scaring the shit out of him. You think that's justice? It's like, well, what did justice do to begin with? Nothing. That's why they were free. Yep. So much great dialogue between, Harrison and Dexter. And of course you got Angela doing her little investigation, her private investigation on the Bay Harbor Butcher, who of course, she's slowly putting the pieces together that Dexter is the Bay Harbor Butcher because of the little prick marks on all the necks. It was a scene where she's looking at all like the evidence pictures of like the chopped up bodies from the Bay Harbor Butcher case. My wife's like, you can just pull that stuff up on the internet. I was like, no, I think she must have been sent files with those pictures in it. It just makes more sense. Even though they don't explain it, let's just have it be that way. Because just Google it. Oh, look, it's severed head.
Oh, yeah.
So she notices the same like prick mark in the couple of the victims' necks, the same that matched the drug dealer, both drug dealers, and I think that was it, right? It was just those 2 drug dealers that she found those prick marks on. Because he hasn't done anything to anybody else other than Matt, and Matt's Ash.
Yeah.
so she's trying so hard to just hope. She's hoping that Jim is, of course she knows that Jim is Dexter Morgan, but she's just hoping that he's not what she's pulling all this evidence on. And of course she listens to the Molly Park podcast, the Mary Fuck Kill, about the Bay Harbor Butcher and about Dokes and how, but it probably wasn't him, or could it have been somebody else? And her and Audrey have that talks like, what do you think? Do you think that it was him or that it was somebody else? I was like, I don't know. But I feel she has it in her mind that she knows, but she's just trying to find something that's not linked to him. And it doesn't help when she goes to find the ketamine or to the vet, because the vet's the only one in town who would have that stuff. she goes to see who logged any out. And of course, you think, oh, maybe Jim didn't fill it out. Dexter didn't fill it out. But no, she's like, oh, it's this person because of her sheep. This person for, I don't remember what it was. And then, oh, your boyfriend for his goat.
One guy with the 37 cats.
Yeah. And then she's like, oh no, your boyfriend for his goat, Vincent Van Goat.
Yep.
And I think once she was told that, it's immediate. She knows. She 100% has everything she needs to know that Dexter is the Bay Harbor Butcher. And she's playing it off really well. She's trying not to make it out like too suspicious, of course. The Dexter and Harrison come over for Christmas, and you could feel the strain in the relationship between Dexter and her, because I was like, are they even still a couple? Because I didn't even know if they were still a couple, and then it was like, oh, we got to go over to Angela and Audrey's house for Christmas, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is still a thing. But so they have their gift exchange. That's when Kurt shows up, and then we see it later as Kurt is seeking revenge on Dexter and Harrison. They go, thinking they're home, he goes to their house and sets it on fire. He sets the cabin on fire. It's such a nice cabin, you son of a bitch.
I know.
So yeah, Kurt sets the cabin on fire, thinking that both Harrison and Dexter are home, so that when they come out of the door, he was going to shoot them, but they're not home, because what are they doing? But they're discovering Kurt's fucked up bunker with all the women dolls, whatever. Oh my God, it's terrifying.
Yeah.
And he has a triple arm, and Dexter purposely sets it off because they see, they notice the cameras, but he's like, no, I want him to see that he's been discovered, that people know what he is. And so Kurt goes into like full, he's pissed, he's scared. So he decides he's going to try to flee. He goes back home, packs up a couple bags. And I love it. We get the scene where, back at Angela and Audrey's house, when Kurt comes in and he's like, hope to see you around soon, kid. And then he does the gun thing. And then when Kurt goes home to pack up all his bags, he walks out, and that's when Harrison walks in. He's like, what's up, fucko? Yep. And then that's when Dexter comes behind and hits him with the needle. And I was like, that's such a great scene. Just him coming in is like, what's up, fucko? And does the same gun gesture to him. And then Dexter does his thing. And we're back in the bunker on the table. I love where Dexter's like, I don't want to hear your dad shit. No dad shit. You can't blame your dad for these these.
All right.
And, Kurt is on the table trying to justify what he does. These were runaways. They were lost, and I gave them a place to stay, some food, and they wanted to leave anyways. So, that was his whole justification for doing it. And then, of course, he tries to turn Harrison on Dexter because of Matt. And of course, Dexter has that quick comeback with it, saying that Matt fit the code. And it's great to see Kurt finally meet his demise, especially after you see how many women he has actually killed.
Yeah.
I just could imagine.
Definitely just desserts.
Yeah, I was imagining, though. I was like, imagine that scene where he's on the table and he just starts whiffing out his Mr. Krabs voice. Just starts like doing that scene in Mr. Krabs voice.
I might hear him. I'm like, can you feel it, Mr. Krabs?
Oh, just for people who don't know what we're talking about, Clancy Brown, who plays Kurt Caldwell in this show, is the voice of Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob SquarePants. It's weird because you can slightly hear it, and it's just always throws me off. Clancy Brown's a fantastic actor, so he did a great job in this role. And of course, his presence isn't going to go away, because at the end of the episode, after Dexter does his final stab, he dismembers, and we get a little bit too graphic in this because I don't remember a lot of Dexter. You actually seeing Dexter do the dismembering as much as you see this scene where he is sawing off arms and legs, stuffing them in bags. I was like, oh, all right, well, we get to see this, but I feel Kurt knew that something like this was going to come because at the end of the episode, after Dexter and Harrison discover that the cabin's been burnt down, after they throw Kurt in the same exact incinerator as Matt, they have to stay with Angela and Audrey because Audrey insists, and Angela gets a letter in her mailbox, and she reads it, and it says, Jim Lindsay killed Matt Caldwell, and inside are a bunch of the surgical screws or bolts or whatever they are inside there. And that's how the episode ends. Oh my God. So we have one episode left of this show. And I have to say, this show is so much better than I expected it to be. I knew they were going to come out with something good to justify what we got in season 8 of the original show. But boy, this has exceeded my expectations. What are our theories on what the season finale is going to entail for Dexter New Blood?
Before I say, can we talk about the ugly Christmas sweaters that he wears?
See, we did.
That is so out of character,
right?
Like,
Dexter is so awkward. This? He's such a goofball when he has to play off like he's not a serial killer. We got to talk about the gifts though that he gives Harrison. He gives him some socks. He gives him a shirt. I think I don't know what that second gift was, and then he gets him a rifle. And I love when he asks the questions like, do you use a gun? Do you use this for your thing? He's like, no, guns are too messy and loud,
Yep.
And he's like, and I've never been a good shot, which is why we really never see Dexter shoot in this show. I don't think we ever saw him shoot.
And when he's calling Angela back, asking her if it's okay if they don't come over afterwards, doesn't he tell them that they're going hunting or shooting?
No, they're going. No, they said they were going shooting. That's when they left their house. They said, "Oh, we're going to go out shooting."
When he calls,
he says they're going out to see the blood moon.
Okay, I thought they said that he was going to take him shooting.
No, they were going to take him. He was going to take him out because they're bonding, and he doesn't. Okay. And they're going to go out and watch the blood moon.
Okay.
Yeah, the first excuse was they were going to go shooting, and that's when they're sitting on the. It's when we go and they're scouting Kurt's cabin with the drone, and they're sitting on the back of the truck, and that's when Dexter is telling him more things without fully exposing himself to what he truly is. But it's I love the whole discovery where he finally admits that he kills. And he's like, and I took care of Arthur Miller too, because of what he did to your mother. And I feel just Harrison hearing that, makes them closer, because of course that was what, Harrison thought, that Trinity was still alive. He'd always, dreamed about finding him and killing him. But now that, Dexter tells him that he's dead, it's a like, oh shit type moment.
Yeah.
And Harrison's a really good shot because they go outside and they shoot the gun, and he's a really good shot. Where Dexter's like, oh, yeah, okay. But was that something that Kurt had showed him? The shooting? I don't think they shot together, unless it wasn't anything we saw.
Unless it was something where they had spent time together, not in the episode, like.
Yeah.
story wise. I don't know. But Angela is a sneaky regifter. Did you notice that she gave the peppermints
Who?
from Jim, or from Kurt gave her peppermints
Yeah.
that he had brought in? She gives them back to the doctor, the vet.
Yes. Yes. I actually didn't pick up on that. I didn't realize it was the same thing.
Pretty sure it's the same thing. She's
Oh,
like,
that's
I don't
funny.
want these, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I'm just gonna regift them. This woman's never gonna
Yeah.
find out.
Yeah, not very many people are gonna find out now because he's gone.
Yeah, we get some Seneca phrases that I guess Audrey likes to. I can't remember the phrases, but I'm guessing they're Seneca words that mean mother or
One
mom, and then one is I love you.
says I love you. Yeah.
Um,
I was trying to remember it because it's when she says I love you when she gives her the guitar.
yes, I love the mother daughter relationship with Angela and Audrey. I think
Mhm.
it's I feel Audrey is it's so probably the closest you get to like an actual teenage girl in
Yeah.
2022 or 2021, whatever year you want to, whatever we're taking place in. But she's independent. She's independent. She's not reliant on anyone, but she respects the people around her, like the elders around her, uh especially if she sees respect from them. Like she respects her mother, even
Mhm.
though her mother might drive her crazy and she's the police chief, so she's very
Yeah.
protective. She understands that she is doing it for a reason, and she's just awesome. I love Audrey. I think she's a great character, and I love that dynamic between mother and daughter, where it's not just like that, mom, get out of my room, like that, just like
Yeah.
that, always that girl you see in movies, like teenage girl. Like this Audrey is she feels real to the
Yeah.
situation, to the world, where in most other media or movies or shows, it's just so exaggerated.
So the I love you is Gunugwa,
Okay.
but I don't know what the other word is.
Yeah, I think one of them was mom and the other one was I love you. The one you just said. I don't
Yeah.
want to try to say it because I'm going to completely butcher it.
I had it playing, so I listened to it a couple times. Yeah, I don't know.
So, yeah, this is we got one episode left and I'm just dying to know how this is going to end. And it's sad because that means that this show is going to end and we have to find a new show to review,
Ah,
which we have no idea. So don't ask.
yeah. We
But
just happened to figure out we like the same stuff.
exactly. And we know Dan doesn't like TV. So now it's a good show
No,
that me
yeah.
and Angela can do together. And then, maybe, it's good time. It's good doing other stuff. This has been a lot of fun. Because it was kind of out of the blue. It was like, oh, hey, you like Dexter? Yeah. All right, let's do it. And here we are, 9 weeks in. But yeah, I'm excited for episode 10. I hope you are all excited for episode 10. And I'm sad to see it end. But you know what? The show has the way that this show has gone on and paced itself. I feel like it's just been so damn good.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, thank you to everyone who leaves comments on our videos. We've been getting a lot of comments on our Dexter reviews, so keep writing them to us. All right, down in the comment section on our YouTube videos, because there's stuff that I forget to talk about from the episode, and we get a lot of extra info, which is great. So thank you. A lot of people giving us information about stuff that happened in the prior show, which it's been so long, it's hard to remember everything that happened in the original Dexter series. So thank you for that too. It's a nice refresher. So yeah, I feel that next week it's going to be a whole thing with Angela in discovering, confronting Dexter, and how is Dexter going to get himself out of this, and where's Harrison going to play, and how's Audrey, it's going to be crazy. It's one of those things where, is this the end for Dexter? Like the true
Mm-hmm.
end? And it kind of feels like it's headed that way. But boy,
Yeah, you don't want it to.
you don't
but
want it
you
to be,
know
but
it's
you know what?
coming.
If it does happen that way, this would be such a more satisfying end for Dexter than what we originally got. And so I feel that the creators and the actors who came back to say, hey, we owe it to the fans to do this, that they accomplished their mission. Because as a huge Dexter fan, I mean, listen, I got all 8 seasons back there on DVD. All right. DVD. No one watches DVD anymore. I love
that?
Dexter.
Kids these days don't know what DVDs
They don't
are.
know what DVDs are. But yeah, I feel like this is going to be a satisfying end. I really hope they don't drop the ball, but just how
If they do, I will be so mad.
I know.
Like, you did it once, you can't do it twice.
That's the thing. It's always that way. You just get all that buildup, and then it's like, meh. It's like a whimper at the end, and you're like, what? What do you mean?
Yeah, I will admit, I did not finish season 8 because I couldn't.
Yeah.
I was halfway through, and I was like,
what is happening?
What happened? Like, you knew this was going to be the last season, and you just kind of like, whatever. What happens, happens. We're just going
Right. Well,
I'm so mad.
Yeah, it was very disappointing. Next week, we are going to be talking about episode 10, the season finale of Dexter New Blood, and also kind of doing an overview of the entire season as a whole. So next week's episode might be a little bit longer than our episodes for the last 9 weeks, because we're going to be kind of doing 2 things in one episode. So I hope you're all excited. Remember, this show is up every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern time. It's on youtube.com/dissect that film. And it's on all your favorite podcast services. And if it's not on your favorite podcast service, let me know so that I can put it on there, because there are some that it might not be on. Until next time, I am Brett Parker. That is Angela from DNA Gaming. This has been Slice of TV, and we are Dissect That Film. We will see you next time. Bye.